course, we are going to stop there and go straight to the reviewer in the studio to give the reaction. Let's begin from the Nigerian Tribune, where, as a result of the terror alert to ECOM, Operation Stop and Search begins at NAS Buhari Summon security meeting.
I think that is the only way to go. When the U.S. Embassy and the U.K. Embassy issued security alert that no sooner than later that some, key facilities will be attacked in Abuja and some areas in the country, the Minister of Information came out to dismiss the report. The presidency spokesperson also dismissed the report. I wasn't comfortable with that because when you get security alert, what you should do as a responsible government is to call security meeting, call your security chiefs, and review your security strategies, and then look for ways to counter should there be any attack, rather than dismissing it and raising false hope. I use the word false hope on the public, because when you dismiss the reports and then you give your citizens the hope that you are in charge and that such a report from the US and the UK embassies were fake, you will make the people to sleep and get off guard, and there could be, if such thing happens, you will be held responsible as a government. And don't forget that the cardinal responsibility of every government is to protect lives and property and to ensure that your citizens are well protected. And so if a government is unable to protect its citizens and the welfare of the citizens is also not, catered for, the government is as good as a failure. So when you see on the heels of the security of the U.S. security alert, Julius Berger, has shut down. It's followed by another foreign company that also shut down in Abuja. And also in the release by Julius Berger, while they shut down, they advised their staffs to avoid public places and not to attend public gathering at weekends. This also followed report that security agencies have dislodged some bandits. Some key terrorist leaders were said to have been arrested in some places. And then we also got a report that the joint security operatives were able to dislodge terrorists that wanted to attack the military barracks somewhere in Kano and the rest. For me, the report by the United Nations Embassy and the United Kingdom Embassy should not be dismissed. What the president has done now is what the president should have done. Instead of coming out to politicize that genuine concern, instead of coming out to what will the U.S. gain, for instance, of coming out to say that the citizens should not attend public events, should be careful and be mindful of their activities within Abuja. And if the report were to be fake, what will the U.S. be gaining? What will the U.K. be gaining for making such a fake report, assuming and not consider that the report was fake? So for me, the president or the presidency or the government, instead of coming out to be, to attack the report, to politicize it, to rubbish it, they would have done what the president has done. Call your security chiefs, call the security meeting and review your security strategies and possibly put security measures to forestall any attack. When the Kuje prison was attacked, we got a report that the DSS had issued 44 security intelligence, and it wasn't, taken serious. Perhaps the same pattern of dismissing report was applied, and finally you got the Kuje prison, attacked, and the inmates were set free. So, what the president has done by calling for this security meeting is the best, so that when they come out, they'll now renew their security strategies and the way they police the country. Now you can now see the stop and search operations going on in Abuja, going on in the National Assembly entrance and the rest. Now you can now see that some key persons are now going to be using the presidential gate instead of the normal.
But please, let me find something from you, because this one has to do with public relations. The ministers of information or commissioners for information They are the image makers of a particular administration that they serve. But the question I'm asking you is, when is it ripe for a line to be drawn, in terms of confirming a report that is genuine and trying to attack a particular report because you want to sound politically correct? And why does a minister sound differently and the president sound ministry? Is there not supposed to be a kind of uniformity in the information management of a particular government?
You are correct. That is what ought to be in a system where you have a responsible leadership, responsible government. I use the word responsible because over the years we've seen where the presidency will speak differently, the minister will speak differently, and the appointees, the aides to the ministers will speak differently. You take for instance, you mentioned the issue of the ASU when the president said he had given directive to the responsible agencies, the ministries, to resolve the matter. You could hear the ministers coming out to say such directives were not given. We look at several of such. When there was attack in Benue, when the massacre, call it massacre, took place in Benue, we were told that it was the farmer header clashes that led to over 50 persons being massacred in Benue. The president ordered the IG of police to relocate from Force Quarter to the northeast and ensure that the insurgency is nipped in the bud. The IGP did not relocate. It was when the president went to have a town hall meeting in Benue that the stakeholders told the president that you gave order that your minister, that your police IGP should relocate, and the IG didn't relocate. And and the IG was still there up until the day he left. The president did not fire him for disobeying lawful orders. So that is what has happened. You have several of such issues happening. You will say you don't even know who it is. That was why we keep repeating the language of Babacha Lawal, who asks, say, who is the presidency? Because the presidency now, we don't even know. If a cook in the presidency speaks, it's that the presidency has spoken. If a cleaner speaks, they say presidency. The press will just use it, presidency has spoken. So who is actually this presidency? Because you had the issue where the president's wife was having conflict with one of the aides, spokesperson of the president, I think Garba Shehu. But when he comes out to speak, he always say the presidency direct. The question is, who is the presidency? So how do we draw a line between individual statements who are working in the presidency now
and that of the
president? That is where we are.
And we hardly hear statement from the president, but from the president.
Presidency. So this one that we have heard now, coming out now that the president has called for security meeting, we wait to hear the outcome of that meeting. Because most times, let's even look at list of appointees. Sometimes over time we saw some names of persons who have died in the list of appointees that the president has appointed and sent their names for screening in the Senate. It was really screening that say these persons are no longer alive. Like what happened when the president conferred national honor. We had a list that came out much earlier where several names were listed. And that came out from the presidency. And within the few days, we saw another counter list that came out from the same presidency.
Describing the other one as
fake. So you keep having such kind of issues. Most times, before actions will be taken, you will hear it over time in the media. Those issues, the press will always get information out and put it in the public. This is what the president will do. And finally, those things, you will hear them denouncing it, countering it. And finally, they will still do it. That they will not come and do it. So the point is, who is the presidency or who is a mole in the presidency?
Well, that's a very big question. And I hope that one day that question will be answered in this country. Still on security.